Hey everyone, Dr. Cliff here. In this episode, we're going to learn about this cute little guy named Tiny who can't seem to walk using his back legs very well. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, thanks for joining again. As mentioned, this episode is about this cute little kitten named Tiny. Now Tiny was dropped off at a local rescue that we work with. And the people that dropped Tiny off actually thought that because he wasn't developing properly and was having trouble walking, basically not using his back legs well, that he may have a quality of life issue and may need to be euthanized. However, the shelter saw it differently and they brought him to a foster home. And the foster home sent us some videos. And if you see in the first video, he is having trouble walking. He's walking down on his heels, what we call a dropped hawk walk. It's actually sort of, it's kind of like a bear. Bears walk that way, black bears and grizzly bears, and people actually walk that way as well. The other thing I noticed on the video is the tail kind of doesn't seem active, so it's basically just hanging out parallel to the ground instead of going up and down and side to side, dealing with balance. Now the second video, you can definitely see though that he has what's called purposeful movement. He's using his legs, he's just not using them properly. So he's pushing with them, he's trying to stand, he's definitely chasing the ball, and he's having a good time. And it's having a good time that's sort of the most important thing. If you look at the last video where he's outside, he's definitely happy. He's playing, he's running, he's almost playing hide and seek with the person recording with the camera, with the foster family. So we need to take a look at this guy and figure out what's going on, but definitely his quality of life is fine. I mean, if you could hear him right now, he is purring up a storm. And so stay tuned. We're going to do an exam and run some diagnostics and figure out what's going on with you, Tiny, okay? All right, let's check this guy out. So it's important that we go from head to toe so we don't miss anything. He's definitely got a bigger head than you'd normally imagine, and his eyes seem to be a little bit bigger. So there probably are some sort of brain and cranial developmental abnormalities. It's hard to see, hard to tell at this stage if he can see very well, but he certainly has been reacting well, eating well. I'll get him playing with my dog soon and see how he reacts that way. See how he's kind of twitchy a little bit with his front feet, and his back feet are quite weak. He avoids knuckling with his front feet. Doesn't really stop with the back. I'm not sure if this hurts him. I don't think it hurts him, but it's definitely stressing him out. His back legs are extremely sort of rigid and extended. If the signals get messed up to any muscle, then some of the muscles will, I should say to any limb, then some of the muscles will take over and stretch the limb out and not allow it to come back, or the opposite is true, it can pull the limb in. And he's very agitated when he can't feel the ground here. Yeah, he gets very nervous easily, that's for sure. Your heart sounds great. Yeah, I know. As I said, he doesn't really seem to have much going on with his tail. Hey Kim, it's Cliff, how you doing? I'm good, thank you. I want to talk to you guys about Tiny, but any sort of quick updates about him? I know there were some concerns about his cold feet. So I spoke with the neurologist and I sent him the videos and kind of talked to him about my brief neurological exam. And he's worried. I mean, he says he's not really sure what's going on, but he sees this in kittens and it's either some sort of in utero infection, but none of the other littermates have any symptoms, right?
No, there was one that was born like 4 weeks.
Okay.
And it passed away.
Oh, so Tiny's the only one. We'd occasionally do an MRI and some blood work and even a spinal tap. He said, I'm going to assume that's going to be tricky to do. But he also said, we often do not find the answer even with all those things. So he said, you know, it's difficult for him to say if it is sort of physical congenital, so like a you know, brain malformation or a spinal cord abnormality, or if it's an infectious cause. And infectious doesn't necessarily mean infectious to other animals. He says there's no reason to think Tiny is a danger to any other cats, but he said the fact that the other litter mates are not affected, he wonders how it would be that Tiny would, you know, contract some sort of infectious disease in utero and the other ones are fine. With that being said, he said definitely let's treat with clindamycin. Oh, poor thing, eh? Okay. I guess a couple of things, and I think just to be safe, we should probably take another look at him on Saturday if possible. Hey, you're back. It's like, yeah, I know. So I talked with Dr. Barker, the neurologist over at Toronto Vet Emerge Hospital, showed him some of Tiny's videos, and unfortunately he's quite concerned. He thinks the prognosis isn't great, but this little guy is going to get better. In fact, he might actually progressively get worse and succumb to the disease. He's not 100% sure what's going on, but given the symptoms and his age, he thinks it's a possible in utero infection, so something that Tiny developed and became infected with while he was developing inside his mom. And just in case, we're going to put him on some clindamycin, an antibiotic known for dealing with neurological infections. The foster family, while they've said he's eating well and playing, he's starting to have some urinary incontinence issues, so he's starting to pee on himself. And it sounds like he's having some problems with bowel movements as well. So, as I said, he may be progressing and getting worse, but Dr. Barker assured me he has seen some cases that have improved with clindamycin. Perhaps they were going to improve on their own, we don't know, but clindamycin's quite safe and benign, so it's worth a shot. So today we're just going to check up his neurological exam and see how he's doing. Still not sure if he sees, but his pupils are reacting well. Leave me alone. Seems to react to this flare, so you definitely can see some light. You might hear a little bit, his ears seem to twitch. It's hard to tell. Gonna poke his little bum to see if his reflexes are there. I know, I'm sorry. I know, I'm sorry, dude. He's got some tone, that's for sure. You alright?
Yeah.
Good boy. I know, I'm sorry. One more. I need to see you scream. I need to get a response. Them pulling back is not it's not a response, it's just a reflex. So you can actually have a broken back and the leg might still pull. What we need is for him to vocalize like that, or at least react somehow high up. Oh, okay, good boy. Good boy, okay. You know, we can see what we can do, alright? Okay, let's put you back in your cage, bring you back home to your family. Hopefully you get better.